I left my wife because she couldn't get over her parents dying, and I don't feel guilty about it. My wife Morgan lost her parents in a devastating house fire 3 years ago. They died trying to save their beloved tabby cat Whiskers from the basement when the electrical system sparked and ignited. Morgan found out from our neighbor's frantic phone call while we were having Sunday dinner with our twin boys, Jake and Sam, who were only 4 at the time. She completely shut down after the funeral service, wouldn't work at her marketing job, wouldn't clean our house, barely acknowledged our kids existed anymore. I'm talking about a woman who used to make elaborate themed birthday parties with handmade decorations and homemade Halloween costumes that took weeks to perfect. I became a single parent overnight while still technically married to someone who had become a ghost, getting the boys to school every single morning, packing their Batman and Spider-Man lunchboxes, helping with their reading homework, working brutal 12-hour shifts at the packaging warehouse, then coming home exhausted to cook dinner, do mountains of laundry, and clean up toys scattered everywhere. Morgan would just lay motionless in our king-size bed, scrolling endlessly through old family photos on her cracked iPhone. Sometimes at 3 in the morning, I'd hear her sobbing uncontrollably into her pillow. I tried desperately to be understanding and patient. Grief affects everyone differently, right? That's what all the grief websites said. I suggested professional therapy sessions. She attended exactly 2 appointments with Dr. Martinez and quit abruptly. Said the therapist couldn't possibly understand the depth of her unique pain and loss. I researched and found local grief support groups that met weekly at our community center. She said they were just full of people who didn't love their parents nearly as much as she had loved hers. I even convinced our family doctor to prescribe antidepressants. She took the little white pills faithfully for exactly 2 weeks, then stopped cold turkey because they made her feel emotionally disconnected from her parents' precious memory. The absolute breaking point came last month when I was desperately going through our overwhelming credit card statements because we were 3 months behind on our mortgage payments. Morgan had been secretly ordering elaborate $60 gourmet takeout meals from expensive restaurants every single day while I was surviving on dollar store ramen noodles to save every penny possible. When I confronted her about this financial betrayal, she looked at me with these completely dead, hollow eyes and said coldly, "You have absolutely no idea what real devastating loss feels like. Food delivery is literally the only thing left in this world that brings me any comfort whatsoever." That's precisely when something deep inside my soul just completely snapped apart. I had lost my beloved mother to aggressive pancreatic cancer just 2 years before Morgan's parents died in that fire. I grieved her death while simultaneously supporting Morgan through her challenging master's degree program. I cried alone in my car during lunch breaks because I couldn't afford to fall apart emotionally at home where my family needed me strong. I told Morgan that evening I was completely done with our marriage, filed for divorce papers that very week. Her younger sister Michelle called me absolutely heartless and cruel. Her older brother David said Morgan desperately needed more time to properly heal from her trauma. Her judgmental Aunt Patricia said I was selfishly abandoning Morgan during her darkest hour of need. But Jake and Sam were constantly asking me through tears why mommy didn't seem to love them anymore. Sam started wetting his bed nightly again after being potty trained for years. Jake's concerned teacher Mrs. Rodriguez said he was falling asleep during story time because he stayed awake worrying about Morgan. The day I finally moved out with both boys and our packed belongings, Morgan suddenly got out of bed for the first time in months. She started desperately pounding on my car window, begging me to stay, promising she would change everything, swearing she'd start therapy again immediately. But I had already fundamentally changed during those 3 hellish years. 3 years of being completely invisible in my own marriage while helplessly watching my innocent children suffer was more than enough. Now I have the boys full time because Morgan has missed her first 5 scheduled custody visits without explanation. They're genuinely happier now. They laugh freely again during dinner. Sam stopped wetting his bed completely. Morgan's judgmental family still thinks I'm the heartless villain in this story, but my precious kids finally have a parent who actually shows up for them every single day.